Welcome to HR Hero Podcast, a space where we navigate the intersection of career, purpose, and leadership. So today I'm joined by a special guest, Mufunwa M.
Yeah.
Mufunwa, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. It's a privilege to finally be here. I've seen you host some great, wonderful people. So finally sitting here with you is just an honor and a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm honored to have you. So let's get into it. You want to break the ice?
Yeah, let's go for it. it. I wonder what you have planned for me.
So if there's anything at all that you want to change in the world, what is that one thing that you would change and why?
I would say the housing problem in South Africa. I think we definitely, when you just drive around, I mean, we in Gauteng and, even if you go to different parts of the country, you see a lot of squatter camps.
Yeah.
And the more squatter camps you see just tells you the more housing problems or housing issues we have. I mean, we live in a world where, free housing is being sold, though it's called free housing, where RDPs, people who are struggling to get housing are being told in order to be first in line, pay us this, and they don't have that kind of money. We live in a world where, there's so much inequality, where there is a minority which makes up 1% of wealthiest people in the country, and the rest of us are scrambling. You go to places like Cape Town, where a decent place will cost a fortune to stay in. Those are things that shouldn't be the case for an average South African. So housing problem will speak to, firstly, sorting out other variables like socioeconomic issues like unemployment and all of that. But beyond that, we need to have more men and women rising up to solve the issue, going into our communities, investing into our communities and creating a place and an environment where people can live in a decent manner. And I think, that's the one thing that burns me. There's so many people, even in the workplace, that live in squatter camps. You see a lot of videos moving around, TikTok videos of someone who will tell you, I work in Sandton, but I live in a squatter camp. So stuff like that. So it speaks to the housing problem.
Oh, wow. I love it. Just a follow-up question on that. So how would, if you were given this as a project and to lead, you've got all the resources and the financial, it's not an issue. What is the building towards the housing issue? Where do you start? How would you do it?
Well, first and foremost, you need to understand the people that you're catering for, and it's most of our people that live in such areas, and most of them is speaking to facts that they don't even qualify for a house. They don't even qualify for a home, whether to rent or to own an apartment, whatever it is. So these are the people that you need to identify and get data as to, like, the kind of backgrounds they have, what they're doing, and if they're even in a position where they can maintain a place, not even financially, but even to keep it clean. So I would go about it, going to those squatter camps, identifying families, and identifying households that would really, really do with a basic house.
Yes.
And priority list will go from fatality, where a person is staying in a place where there's no roof or hardly a roof, and you sort those kind of issues out and you create decent homes from there. And from there on, not just building homes for them, but also building them to be able to sustain. So taking their kids to school, getting them into programs where one day they can actually make an income. And out of that, one day or 10 years down the line, they'll be able to move out and create room for the next person. So, I mean, I'm just thinking of this top of mind, but I mean, there should be more philosophies to it.
I love it. Smart. Okay, so Mufunwa, you're an investment banker.
Yes.
You incorporate.
Yes.
And working in a bank.
For now. I'm in corporate for now.
You're in corporate as we speak. So what do you do as an investment banker? You're in foreign exchange.
Yes, I'm in electronic foreign exchange for both corporate and institutional clients for one of the top 4 banks in the country. I'm not allowed to say. But so I'm in the markets floor. And what we do, we basically enable electronic flow for different clients in country and out country, being able to transact and navigate foreign exchange from one country to the next. So high level, we enable companies to trade. We enable global trading, basically. So to put it at a high level,
Okay, so did you have to study for this thing that you're doing?
Of course.
And what did you study?
Of course. I went to after high school, I went to the University of Johannesburg, then called Rao.
Yeah.
I did my BCom accounting as my junior degree, did my post in honors in finance and investment, did my CIMA, which is a global certificate in management accounting, and then I did my ACIs as well. These are certificates for trading, dealing certificate, where you're able to deal within a banking market flow, market flow. Or trading flow, as they would call it. And and of course, a couple of short courses there and there. But all of this, in terms of formal education, I went through varsity. I did a couple of, board exams, and got myself into where I am.
And then you qualified.
Yes.
Over and above that, you are a gospel artist.
Yes. I love that. Over and above, yes.
Yes, over and above, you're a gospel artist. So you released last year an album.
Yeah.
Was it last year?
We recorded last year. We released a single early this year.
Yeah. Zoe Sons of Life.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What inspired you to release and why Zoe Sons of Life?
Yeah, a beautiful question. I think there's a journey to it. And I think over and above, just the album, it was a sentimental journey for me. Having lost my mother in 2022, I also lost the desire to pursue music, my first love, because I was introduced to music through my mom at a very tender age. My mom and her mom, who passed away before she passed away. So I felt like all the people that introduced me to this world are gone.
Yeah.
And felt like robbery to me.
May her soul rest in peace.
Yes. She's present with the Lord now. So I just felt like, what's the use? I always loved to make them proud. Every time I remember some of my early days in the industry, I would call them to my events, to my shows, and they'd be so proud. And even though it would be packed, but her presence in the room would mean so much. So I took a bit of a knock, and that resulted in me taking some time off from the industry. I was not actively writing songs. I think the only place that I would sing was at church, at Grace Mission Church. So I think over and above, just the pain, I think I saw God help me navigate through the pain, and grace healing me over time.
Yeah.
And I got to a place where I felt I could stand on my feet, and I just started getting these songs back. Found myself writing songs. I found myself in a place where my hope was built again. And by the time I felt I wanted to record, I was back to my first love. And the question was, what would be the title? What would be the name of the recording?
Yeah.
And I thought, there's so much life. I'm back. I feel alive again.
Yes.
I was in such a dark place.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that I should minister to someone.
Yes.
Not necessarily that I should be ministering to artists or musicians, but someone who had given up on their dream, someone who had been sleeping on their idea, someone who disqualified themselves and thought, man, who am I? Let me just forget about that crazy idea I had.
Yeah.
But, to say, listen, there is life. You can still get up again and pursue that which you once disqualified yourself from. So we called it Zoe Songs of Life. And my daughter's name is Zoe, my first daughter, my first child. So
you were intentional about...
I was very intentional about naming her, and so which then gave birth to the album. And I did that album in honor of my daughter. So she'll grow up saying, hey, my dad released an entire album named after me and for me. So
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So besides that, then you are the minister of the word.
Yes.
Yeah, you preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Of course.
So how do you navigate that calling with the corporate responsibility and the family? You've got a wife and you've got your daughter named Zoe.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate all of that?
Well, the truth of the matter is, they call it work-life balance, I suppose.
Does it exist?
Yeah, I don't think it. That's a very good. I was about to ask. Because we live in a world where you just capitalize where you can. But I'm a big. I think where I currently am now with God is stewardship, being able to steward what He has entrusted me with.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm big on is my first line of ministry, before the preaching, before the singing, is my family.
Yes.
It doesn't make anything good if I'm pleasing everyone. I'm here in front of the camera speaking to millions of people watching the HR Hero podcast, and I'm singing or preaching in front of multitudes of people, but my wife and my children feel they don't have me. I think for me, the scripture, what benefits or what profiteth a man to gain the whole world but lose himself, still applies in the context of family.
Yeah.
What good is it for me to be celebrated out there when my wife and children can't celebrate me because they never spend time with me, or because I've never impacted or imparted anything?
Yeah.
Part of priestly stewardship, being a priest of my household, is that before I can impart something outwardly, outside of the confines of my family, it should be something that I've impacted and imparted to my family.
That's powerful.
So I believe in the preaching of the household before the preaching of the body.
Yeah.
The body being the ecclesia, the church of God.
Yeah.
By the time I preach a sermon out there, I've already preached it in my household, and we pursue it.
That's powerful. So we're speaking about it this morning with the lady that joined me.
Yeah.
So we're speaking about the story of David.
Yeah.
To say David wouldn't have the courage to stand against Goliath if he didn't do the work where nobody could see.
In private,
you understand?
yes.
And God has convinced him that you great, you powerful, you strong.
Yes.
You can what do you call? You can defeat the giants.
Yes.
So he went there knowing that he's not alone. God is with him.
Yes.
Because he worked privately. So I like what you say.
He has seen this God.
Yeah.
One of the things that we need to take great cognizance of is that, I preaching in front of, as much as you can really look at it, preaching to my wife is probably even the hardest thing, because you're preaching to someone who actually knows you.
Yes.
So you can't lie to this person.
No, you can't.
You can't talk about purity when this person knows you're not pure.
Yeah.
So the one thing that makes me step out in boldness and courage to preach at church or wherever I'm invited, or to sing wherever I'm invited, is that I've been able to minister this thing in my household in front of people who live with me, who do life with me, people that submit under me. My wife submits under me. My children submit under me. So I've sort of like created a framework that says, before I can preach it, I should be able to teach it. And before I can teach it, I should be able to live it. So it's part and parcel of the ministry. That my first line of ministry is to take care of these people.
Yes.
God is not going to look at the many people that I've preached to, but He's going to, firstly, as much as that is great, He's going to look at the people that He entrusted me with. What did you do with your wife?
Yeah.
What did you impact her with? What did you build her up to be? And then we can look at the rest of the world. Yeah.
So I take it there's no balance.
Yeah, no. Look, I'd be lying. If I don't have 5 steps to balancing your life. Look, I think we take what's given.
Yeah.
I think beyond anything, like I said, it's just to make sure that you get your priorities in order, families in shape. There are weeks and there are months that I sit down with my wife and say, look, this is one of the busiest months. I need you to step in for me here and at home. I need to go out. Or sometimes it's the other way around. My wife travels for work a lot. So that's how we work around it. Yeah.
As a team.
As a team, yeah. As a team.
So if you're not doing what you're doing now currently, in your career, what would you be doing?
If I was not at work,
if
by
you were
9
not
to 5.
At work, 9 to 5.
Oh my goodness!
Corporate.
I'd just be writing songs, releasing them. I'd be preaching. I'd be, that like I always say this, and I hope my colleagues don't watch this. I always say, I'm full time in the kingdom and part time in corporate. I wish I had more time to do the stuff and to just do the stuff I'm commissioned for. I'm called for. I wish I had more time with students. I love student ministry.
Yes.
I wish I had that capacity, but life being life, you find yourself in a position where you can't really, do everything all at once. So, but if I didn't have my 9 to 5, which I believe God will create a way for me not to be sustained or to depend on a salary. No.
He's declaring it.
It has to happen quickly. Yeah,
it will happen.
Yeah,
according to your will.
Yes.
Yeah. So how you mentioned God has called you to steward, stewardship. So how has your relationship with God changed over time?
Wow, that's actually a good question. So I think the journey of any Christian is that you start off almost like a baby, and you are fed into growth, and then from growth into maturity. I think Paul in 1 Corinthians, it says, Apollos planted, I, Paul, watered, but growth comes from the Lord.
Yeah.
Basically to say that there are steps into, a Christian journey for one to grow. So I believe that my journey with God had to do with leaning more towards Him.
Yeah.
When I started, and getting to a point of maturity. And how I define maturity in the Spirit is that you are, the answer no, as in no, is said for you by God on your behalf until you've grown enough to say it for yourself. And part of that has to do with discernment. There are certain things that when I was a babe in the Spirit, that, God had put certain people in my life to say no for me.
Yeah.
And, I'd want to do certain things. I'd want to stray away as any young man would. But there were people in my life who did not allow that to happen until somehow I grew, even in my discernment, that certain things, even now when opportunities come, I'm able to say no without any person around me whom God has sent to say no on my behalf. So I think initially it was God holding my hand and saying no to certain things, and sometimes not even putting people in my life to say no for me, but He Himself saying no. And how He says no is certain opportunities just die out, certain people just move away from your life and you don't understand, but it's God saying no.
It's God saying
but
no.
Now you are at a point where you've grown in your discernment that even without God intervening, when you come across a particular group of people or come across a particular opportunity, you are able to say, no, this is not for me. As tempting as it looks, as beautiful as it looks, this is not for me. So now maybe this is for someone that not everything is there to distract you or to destroy you, but certain things are there to protect you and to mature you. And that's how my journey with God has been. I've learned to appreciate the no's.
Wow.
Yeah.
So earlier on, we were speaking about seasons, right? And I want to extend this conversation here. So there's a time for everything, and times and seasons belong to God. And at the right time, He says, I, the Lord, will make it happen, whatever it is, right? So in this season, I don't know what season you are, but I'm in a season of transition. Yeah.
I like that.
So I come from a season of wilderness. So I'm in season of transition because I understand that something has shifted in the Spirit and God is taking me to a different direction. So what season are you in, and what is God teaching you in this season? Yeah.
No, look, I'd be confident enough to say, I don't know if I'll call it a season, but I'm pursuing that which God has destined me for.
Yeah.
Ephesians 2 verse 10 says we've been predestined to do good works.
Yeah.
And the good works that God had already predestined in our lives. And I'm paraphrasing, but the idea is there are things that God had called you to do before you were even born.
Yeah.
It tells Jeremiah, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. So there's a purpose, there's a calling in you that was there before you even arrived. It actually overtook you.
Yeah.
And so it takes pursuit to get to it and run with it. So I'm in a season where I'm pursuing that.
Yeah.
God has clearly laid out what it is that He has called me for. God has clearly laid out what it is that He would have me do. And now I'm just in a position where I am running after it. I'm chasing after it unapologetically. And I think that's where I'm at. And coupled with stewardship, like I'm currently in a space where I'm really stewardship being the fact that I've given you this. I need you to. When I come back, where Scripture says when the Son of God, when Christ returns, will He find faith?
Yeah.
And it also says, occupy until I come.
Yes.
And the idea in that is that in your stewardship, when he finally returns to take us with to glory, he needs to find us having enhanced that which he had predestined for us. So if you were a singer, how many songs did you write? How many albums did you produce? If you were an author, how many books did you write or publish? If you are a businesswoman like Joy, how many podcasts did you have? How many impactful initiatives did you have? Conversations and all of that. So that's where I'm at.
That's where you're at. Thank you for sharing. So I want to know, you recently celebrated a big event, right?
I'm wondering what you're talking about because there's a lot.
A big event.
My goodness.
Apparently, there is intended to have how many hundreds?
100,000 people.
Worshippers.
Yeah.
Yes. And I saw on social media, they're like, who's that guy? The MC.
Yeah.
A master of ceremony.
Yes.
Yes. How did you feel about, being given an opportunity to direct such a huge event, and what can you say about it?
Very humbling. Very humbling experience. I can imagine there's so many people who are more likely candidates than I. Many people who are more talented. Many people who have been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I don't count myself as one who was trained to do it, but grace can locate you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was Dr. Tumi's 100,000 hallelujahs at the FNB Stadium.
Yes.
Had never been to the stadium for a soccer match or for anything. Had never even passed the stadium any day. And the first time I went there, I was speaking. Well, we didn't make the 100,000, but it was over 50,000 people.
You had to go to the stadium and speak to over 50,000 people.
50,000 people.
That's what you were called for.
Exactly. And I think one of the things that I was very conscious of is that I want to get a glimpse of what it is to stand in front of that number.
Yeah.
Because I want more people. I once put out a bold status and statement, I think a year or two ago, and I said, by the time I die, which will be many years from now,
yes.
I want to have saved over 100,000 people, brought over 100,000 people to the Lord.
Wow.
And I think it was just so... It was just so, I don't know, it was just so willing of God for me to be a part of that and to speak in front of those people, to engage with that number of people. It's just a humbling thing, but more so for the kingdom of God, it was a necessary gathering. So it was we celebrated. God is good.
You're anointed.
Yeah. For victory and success.
For victory and success. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Amen. Can we do a quick fire round?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Before we do a quick fire round, production has asked me to say, please, can you ask him to sing?
Oh, guys, this is you putting me on the spot.
Can you ask him to sing just a little bit?
Okay, I don't even know how to sing.
Your choice.
Okay, it's all good. Moya oingwele moya tatindawo yako. That's the song that I've actually released.
I could sing.
I saw you miming.
Yeah, I wish I could sing. I'm not gifted there.
You have your own marketplace gift.
Yes. Okay. Ready for quick fire round?
Let's go for it.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early mornings or late nights?
Oh, late nights. Oh, my goodness.
So one word that describes your corporate journey?
Grace. Grace,
interesting.
I don't know how I made it yet, but grace.
Okay. So one skill every artist should learn?
Listening.
Wow.
Hearing or listening, yeah.
What is one thing people are surprised to learn about you?
Oh my, a lot, by the way, but I'm just trying to choose which one.
This is get to know Mufunwa M, Mr. M, the husband of Mrs. M.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're surprised to know about my, I don't know, my depth actually, because I'm an easygoing person.
Yes.
I'm a humorous person. So to put it, that's the word.
You've got a sense of humor.
I've got a great sense of humor. I think. But when people get to sit with me, they get a different side of me, which is a bit boring. My wife will tell you about it. Like this guy just likes reading and watching business politics and stuff. Like it can be boring, but there's that part of the side of me.
But your energy is so contagious. I was saying to production just before you came to say, when you have conversations with different people, you pick up energies.
Yes.
I can't go high when somebody is soft-spoken.
Yes. It's hard. You then come down.
And then I said, Mufunwa is coming.
So
you realize my energy will shoot high.
So that's how I am. Yeah. So when you're in my sacred space or in our home, and all of that, as much as we're loud and we're fun, but there are times where I just want to be still and quiet, and so I have that, and it surprises a lot of people.
It happens to most of us. When you're out there in business or corporate, you have to wear your warrior cape.
Yes.
When you come home, you need to take it off.
Take it off, and you're calm. You become the joy at home.
Yes. Okay. So, what's your biggest source of inspiration?
My dad. Oh man, my dad. He's a trailblazer, man. He's done so much. I'm still living off of the residue of his footprints. There are people he has impacted in his life, or people he's impacted, and those people are finding ways to honor him even through me. So there's so many stories I hear of my dad. He was such a community-led person, wanted to look out for society, and there's so many stories where we learn that certain people didn't even have houses. Certain people had houses, but did not even have water, electricity back in Venda. But he saw it fit that those people are serviced by the government. And man, he's still alive. He's alive and kicking. He's in Polokwane currently. And man, he's a great source of inspiration. Like I could write a book. Actually, we should write a book about that guy. He's just ridiculously amazing. Yeah.
Wow, I love it. So Mufunwa, if anyone listening to you and wanting to step into the career that you have chosen, the investment banking, what would you say it's important to note and take forward, and where do they start?
Look, I think obviously passion. All of us will start from the time where we choose subjects in high school.
Yes.
And I mean, high school is not the epitome of your destiny, right? So some people choose wrong subjects because you're still in your junior phase. You don't really know what you're all about. But I would say it's meant for people who have a strategic way of thinking. People who are flexible and elastic in their mindset. I started off going through the CA route, the chartered accountant route, just become accounting then. But I just felt like the space was too rigid for me. You had IFRS laws, IAS laws that you had to, compare and apply. But I wanted a space where I could apply things based on factors that surround the economy, both micro and macroeconomic factors. Bring in my own views and have them heard in the room. And I'm always excited when I give a client a solution, which is literally birthed from the inside of me. Without having to read a book. Those are things that investment banking is all about. Being able to solve issues for a client. It's meant for problem solving people. It's meant for entrepreneurs. You need to be entrepreneurial in your ways as much as I'm employed, but some of the solutions and how we handle clients, it's very entrepreneurial in nature. Client brings a problem, you build a business case, you solve it. So I would say definitely education. Find yourself, acquire education. There's inherited education, there's organic education, which is stuff that you learn by yourself. But acquired education and acquired knowledge is very much important in this space because it can get very technical as well. So you need to be in a space where you build your acumen, you build your jargon as well, you build the way in which we navigate within the space. So and do a lot of networking.
Oh, that's powerful. Okay, so I think we're ready to wrap up.
Is that it? We're done?
My
goodness, I had so much fun.
So if you could leave our listeners with one piece of wisdom about creativity, business or entrepreneurial, believing in yourself, what would it be? Just one piece of wisdom.
Your greatest strength is in knowing and acknowledging your weaknesses. So the more we know what we are struggling with, or the more we know what we cannot do, that's when we are strong. Because then we have the strength or the power to actually pursue those weaknesses and improve where we can. So our greatest strength is in knowing our weaknesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Ndoleboa, Kamanda.
Kamanda.
I think I've always wanted to say that.
Yeah. Now you said it.
Now I said it.
You couldn't wait to have a vendor person in your podcast. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yes. That was Mufunwa M, an investment banker. Mufunwa is a powerful gospel artist, a minister of the word. So if you're interested in getting into this career, so there is a piece of advice that he's given. Let's be intentional with our development. Let's keep planning. Let's keep developing. Let's keep growing. Thank you.
That's a wrap.